again, now it should make a little more sense what the significance is of this definition, in particular that unified persistent part in the middle, because as you saw, the CDP is the first place of all the options where the data gets pulled together into a single database and into a persistent database. And the reason persistence is important is because there's certain things like trends and history that you can only manage if you're storing the data permanently, as opposed to in the data hubs where the data is not being stored in any one central place. So you can't find trends, you can't. Someone changes their address, you don't necessarily even have a record of their old address. So that's the most critical thing in some ways about that definition. So how does the CDP differ from the other systems? We saw a diagram earlier of the different architectural options, but really what we want to talk about here is the different kinds of systems. Again, here's our definition. Marketer-controlled and packaged systems sort of mean the same thing. The reason that the CDP can be controlled by marketers is that it is packaged software as opposed to custom software, so marketers can buy it and run it, because marketers don't build their own systems. They don't build systems from scratch. They're marketers. They're not IT people. Unified customer data, persistent open access. So those are the key components of the definition. If we compare it to a data warehouse or a data lake, those are custom systems. They still have unified data. It's still persistent, still designed for open access, more analytical typically than operational, but basically they look a lot like a CDP. The difference is they're not packaged. They're not marketer controlled. There's something the IT department builds for you, and it takes 2 years, and they give you 30% of what you want. It's usually shared with other people in the company, not just for marketing. So a lot of downside disadvantages to the data warehouse from a marketer's point of view. Data management platform, probably the thing that's most often confused with a customer data platform. Again, they are packaged, they are persistent, they are open, they're designed for access. They don't really unify the customer data. They really are cookies. They really don't have, first of all, the breadth of data. Typically, they're usually anonymous data, not identified data. So there's a lot of ways that they are not building the same unified persistent customer database that the CDP builds. Don't confuse the two. They are very, very different. If you talk about a data hub or a tag management system, again, that was on the earlier diagram. Yes, it's a packaged software, and yes, it's open, it's designed, but it's not building that persistent database. It's not typically doing the unification process of figuring out that this email and this web cookie and this mobile device are the same person. So very limited functionality from a marketer's perspective in those systems. If we have marketing automation, MAP, marketing automation platform, or CRM, customer relationship management, again, yes, packaged software, basically don't unify the customer data. Those are systems that generate data themselves. The data is entered directly into those systems. They're not really designed to import data from other sources. By and large, there's some exceptions in B2B. The marketing automation, you will import data from a CRM system typically, but not so much from, say, a web system or mobile SDKs. You rarely see that in these products. So they're not really designed as sort of a central repository. They're really designed much more as more of an operational system that manages certain channels and does certain things. And they're really not designed to share data. They're really designed to work with the data that's internal to them for their own purposes, and maybe there are certain applications that attach, but they're not designed to share their core database. There's usually very major limits on the amount of data sharing that can be had. Moving ahead, and then we have our marketing cloud or our journey orchestration system.
Please check with everyone, whoever is coming. If 10th is okay with them, and then I'll check with Nikhil and Sham, and then we'll be good. Mail me dal do.
All right. I don't know if I'm. But someone's talking there.
Everybody's there. I don't want a situation where Dhruv doesn't come, and then we have to do one more trip to take.
All right. Whoever's talking, if you could go on mute, that would probably be a good idea. If you're not on mute already. So the marketing cloud or the journey orchestration, they are packaged. They do unified data. They are persistent. They're generally not, again, designed to share that data. They can be, but they're generally not really built for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And we finally have another dimension that is not part of the definition, but is important, which is that decision and delivery capability. Remember those other two layers in that earlier diagram? Some CDPs do that, some CDPs don't do that, okay? And some do more decision. It's pretty common actually for the CDPs to have some sort of decision application, sometimes even a delivery application attached. Not part of the definition, not required, but it makes it easier to buy for a marketer often if they can actually get a specific application as well as just getting just a pure database. The other ones, the data warehouse, the DMP, the data data hub, those stuff, they do not have those things. Marketing automation, CRM, the marketing clouds generally do have those sorts of things. So if you want, if it makes you feel better to have a Venn diagram, that may make you more or less confused. But this is sort of the three things, again, the three pieces of the definition: marketer control, unified persistent database accessible. The CDP combines all three. The other systems that we just looked at generally have two of the three, in some cases just even one of the three.